Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech, protected.
Let's try this again. What is the secret in the woods?
Why is Judd creepy in this version?
And why couldn't they just leave the story alone?
All this and more on Gory Storytime.
Warning. Gory Storytime is a horror movie review show by a son and his dad who thought that letting his 5-year-old watch scary movies was acceptable. If you are offended by horror or talk about blood and gore by a child, or if you don't want horror movies from the 60s through today spoiled, then there is a remote stuck in your couch cushion next to potato chip crumbs. Use it. And of course, parental discretion is advised.
Why? You didn't use any.
Shut up and start the show.
Welcome to Gory Storytime. I'm your host, Jason.
I'm his co-host and his father, Craig, and second episode in a row we've done this in the past, but we're doing remakes. Last episode we did the Child's Play remake, and this week
we're doing the Pet Sematary remake,
which is sure a thing that happened.
So, next week.
No. The basic premise, for those who don't know, is basically this family from the city moves out to a place in Maine, because Stephen King, it's always going to be in Maine, or almost always, except for what was the one, The Shining, yeah, which was Colorado, but every other one seems to be Maine. So this guy, he's a doctor, he moves his family to Maine. They find out there's a pet cemetery behind their house, and farther beyond that, there's an ancient burial ground for Native Americans where if you bury the dead, whether it's animals or humans, they come back to life, but they come back evil.
Not the same.
Yeah, always evil.
Basically.
That's the premise. You may have recognized that from Pet Sematary.
Or Pet Sematary 2. I learned that there was one of those.
Oh, I told you that. I said don't bother.
Right. Well, who knows? After this?
So anyway, before we get much further, we ought to have a trailer or something so that people can see what we had to sit through. What do you think?
Yeah, let's see that trailer.
So many trees.
It's beautiful, right?
That's definitely not Boston.
Here we go. Okay, so what do you think?
Wow. This whole place is ours?
I even got him to throw in a whole forest as a new backyard.
It was a myth. Kids used to dare each other to go into the woods at night. They knew the power of that place. They feared it. Those woods belong to something else. The ground is bad. It may be just some crazy folk tale, but there is something up in those woods. There's something that brings things back. Sometimes dead is better.
All right.
Alrighty, yeah. So
So while you're at it, watch the trailer for Insidious. It does the same thing.
makes something crappy look better. Now, before we get into the behind the scenes, or as you always used to call it, the
Meat and beef of the show.
Yes, we have to get paid.
Yes.
And we get paid, of course, by promoting actual products that really exist and people can purchase for real somewhere, maybe.
For those of you playing the game.
This week, Gory Storytime is brought to you by Dig Your Own Grave Funeral Services. Save money by digging a grave for you or a loved one. You love saving money, and we love not doing the work. So come on down to Dig Your Own Funeral Services.
All right. Off to a great start. And by Creed's Slightly Used Pet Shop. Oh, excuse me. Just burp button. Okay. We guarantee that these pets do not have papers or certification of any kind. Dogs with less than 4 legs? We got 'em. Parrots that only know racial slurs? We got 'em. Cats that don't kill rodents? Yes, we got those too. All these and more at Creed's Slightly Used Pet Shop. Open 7 days a week from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. That's Creed's Slightly Used Pet Shop, where we say one man's trash is another man's best friend. That's messed up. That's a great line. They should be proud of that.
Yes, they should.
All right.
Let's get into the behind the scenes info.
All right. So during Ellie's birthday party, Judd can be heard in the background saying, "There was a Saint Bernard, killed 4 people." This is obvious. This is an obvious reference to Cujo, another movie based on a Stephen King novel.
Please tell me they're not redoing Cujo. 'Cause
Maybe
that
it'll be
movie's-
good.
Yeah, well, the book was good, so maybe. If they're gonna remake one, remake a crappy one like Cujo. It was just so dull.
So I've heard. I haven't watched it.
When Rachel is returning home from Boston, there's a highway sign that says Derry, 20 miles. Derry is a town that appears in numerous Stephen King stories. According to this, most prominently, It. Except Stand By Me, there's like a bunch of them. Like the only one that has more is the only fake town that gets referenced more than Derry is Castle Rock, another town created by Stephen King.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Referring to the original adaptation Pet Sematary in '89, Stephen King has stated that of all his novels, this is the only one that genuinely scared him.
Okay. Animal trainer Melissa Millett revealed a total of 5 cats. All rescues played church. Ultimately, one of them dropped out after being scared on the set. Pussy. Get it? Play on words. The feline actors were accommodated in 5 trailers with human trainers, although one had to be kept in a separate trailer because it didn't get along with its castmates. Millett noticed the only good working cat is a happy cat. They were quite spoiled. The film crew even built an area near the trailers nicknamed a catio, where the hardworking kitties could play and relax between takes. The cats spent 2 months in training before the shoot, which took about 10 weeks. Aside from one cranky cat, the rest got along well with each other and the human stars, including Jason Clarke and John Lithgow. The quintet of feline stars all found homes after the shoot was done. 2 were adopted by the movie's animal coordinator. Millett found homes for another 2 with friends and kept one herself.
So interesting. Sadly, on May 30th, 2019, the main cat who portrayed the undead church, Leo, passed away. Kirk Jarrett, who adopted him after filming, announced the sad news on an Instagram account dedicated to his furry friend. "It is with great sadness that we tell you that Leo has passed away. He will forever be missed by his human and fur family. May his star always shine bright."
For the 5 cats' makeup, egg whites and Cheryl Knoll's chalk block was used to make their fur look matted, then leaves, pieces of dried grass, grass, and light dirt were stuck onto it. To create a fake blood effect, they used corn syrup with organic food coloring. The cats did not appear stressed. Rather, they ate food and treats, drank water, and even used the litter box while getting their makeup applied. Yes, I want to apply makeup to a cat while it poops in the litter box. That seems like a good plan and fun.
Yes.
Or when a cat is pooping, I'll be over there.
Yeah, not touching it.
Yeah,
Ugh.
some things are alone time.
Right. Unlike Pet Sematary in '89, Judd provides a hint at what this being is when he explains to Lewis that what he has learned about the secret burial ground. Judd's home is full of books about Native American lore, part of a lifetime of research about the woods. As Lewis flips through one book, he sees the same warning markings that he spotted on the trees, then an illustration of Wendigo, a towering figure with antlers of a deer.
Which is stupid because it had nothing to do with a Wendigo originally, and why they added that. The whole point was you're not supposed to know why it did it. Just know that Native Americans went, forget this, and bounced when they realized what was going on.
Right.
That's all you needed to know. Kevin Kolsch and Dennis Whitmire told Polygon that they were concerned how to approach depicting Zelda. We were worried about the character, the idea of possibly not doing Zelda because we were in awe of the actor from the first movie. Rather than backing away from the challenge, they took a different angle, one they felt better represented her depiction in the novel. The whole idea of taunting the sister with your own sickness because you hate yourself and you hate your sister because she's healthy and you're not. This is very grounded and a sad story, even if you take out the supernatural aspects.
All right. Producer Lorenzo Di Bonaventura notes that Kevin Kolsch and Dennis Whitmire gave Stephen King an early heads up on the big twist. We wanted to see if he had any objections, and he was more than cool with it. In some ways, it's true to the book because in the book, the conversations about conversations about death are with Ellie. In that respect, we're following the book. We call it wrapping it up in a black ribbon. It is wrapped up, but not how you think it is going to be.
When Ellie explains that her cat's named to Judd, he says, I know who Winston Churchill is. John Lithgow played Winston Churchill in The Crown, which is an unrelated fact in Who Gives Two Flying Anythings.
All right, then. When Lewis does research on his MacBook about reanimation incidents in Ludlow, he came across articles about Han Ratty, the bull, and soldier Timmy Baterman. In this remake, Baterman is updated from a World War II veteran to a Vietnam veteran due to being set in the 2010s rather than the 1980s, in which the book and original Pet Sematary were set.
According to Stephen King lore, Ludlow is an hour drive from Castle Rock, in the setting of a few works by the writer, including The Dead Zone, Cujo, The Dark Half, Needful Things. It's also the setting of the Hulu series Castle Rock.
What?
Right. Shocking.
So weird. Gone is the specific reference to Micmac.
The Micmac tribe.
Oh, to the Micmac tribe that Stephen King wrote about in his novel as Judd's explanation of the place's origins. Whitmire and Kevin Kolsch chose a more culturally sensitive explanation that indigenous people also encountered the grounds but fled after discovering its power.
While 5 cats were used throughout the film, primarily it was Leo and Tonic that played Church at key moments, with Tonic playing the living Church and Leo taking over whenever Church was required to be undead. Trainer Melissa Millett explained, we did end up using Leo for almost all of the undead stuff. Tonic did some action for him, and Tonic was the family pet because their looks went together so perfectly. We also trained cats as backups for the 2 main cats. Tonic was the action cat, and Jaeger was an action cat. JD excels at quiet staring. Leo excels at quiet staring. Fellow trainer Kirk Jarrett added in the same must-read interview, Leo is a confident sit-stay cat. His role as the undead Church is as the Undead Church. That was his whole purpose, to be the poster child. The cat you see across the different platforms and in the trailer. Almost any time he's in the undead makeup, that was Leo. After filming wrapped, Jarrett adopted Leo and Millette adopted Tonic. Both trainers had fun with their newly adopted stars by giving them their own Instagram accounts, because people are dumb and give cats Instagram accounts.
Yeah. All of the changes from the novel were driven by the desire to find a new angle on a familiar story. When you're making an adaptation, you want to do as much new, fresh things that you can, because there's already an existing movie, said Kevin Kolsch. But at the same time, you want to make sure that you're staying true to the essence of the book, so that people still feel like they're getting Stephen King's Pet Sematary.
Except
We didn't.
Yeah, what you don't do is change a bunch of crap, because it then does what this did, which was suck. According to the cat groomer, Tanya, it took 2 months of training to get the 5 cats fully comfortable with the makeup. We used a protocol of desensitization to get them used to it. We started out with just doing a cat in a dry tub, having catnip parties. That was a lot of fun. When we did the cats, then we started doing a little bit of water each time, increasing the amount to make sure they were comfortable. We did it so progressively the cats were comfortable with the bathing and comfortable with the makeup. We knew that if we didn't acclimate the cats to the makeup, they would be licking it off.
In the original, Church was a British short hair. In this, he's a brown tabby Norwegian forest cat.
The film does not specify the illness that befell Zelda in Rachel's memory. It's Rachel's memory, but we never say what she has.
Before starting his new job, Lewis mentions that his previous occupation was working the graveyard shift at an emergency room, a nod to the Stephen King novel and 1990 movie from the same name.
First of all, Graveyard Shift was not the name of a novel, it was the name of a short story. It was in Night Shift, a collection of short stories. So that whoever wrote that fact needs to go back to school and learn how to read, or understand that a story that's 20 pages is not a damn novel.
No.
And Andy Muschietti, who directed another adaptation of Stephen King's work, It, in 2017, expressed interest in directing this film.
It might have been good. He did good with those movies.
The first one was better than the second one, but sure.
Oh, and
Oh, yeah.
the percentages.
According to Rotten Tomatoes, where they get the average score from one person, they take everyone's rating, positive and negative, and then they tell you the percentage that were positive. The people, not the critics, but the people, have it at 33% positive reviews.
Right. And the critics have it at 58% positive reviews.
Which is too high.
Which I'm thinking that 33% of the people and 58% of the critics just didn't watch it then.
Anyway, so let's talk about our favorite and least favorite scenes.
Well,
my least favorite thing isn't a scene. It's random changes for no good reason whatsoever. Even if they got Stephen King's okay, they took one of the most horrific things that happened in the original, Gage being killed, having his shoe knocked off with his foot still in it. If you look closely, you can see his foot still in it. They took that completely out because they had it be his sister that got killed. It made it less horrifying.
right, because it's like, the 2-3-year-old just got plowed over by a big truck.
Because bringing back the
That's
toddler
the
who
scare.
wasn't able to communicate that well yet, and having him have to feel evil and I'm back from the dead and what's going on here, and was more horrific than the girl who understood, and she's like, Dad, I died, didn't I? Like, that's not a conversation that needed to be had. That was dumb.
That was dumb.
There was just so many changes for the sake of, well, they already did the other movie, right, and it was good, so maybe you shouldn't do this then.
Damn right.
If you're not going to follow, it's like, well, we wanted it to be like the book. Apparently you didn't.
Not really.
Because you changed a bunch of crap.
Oh my goodness. So I'm just gonna take your least favorite because mine was kind of dumb. I mean, it's all kind of dumb. But they made Judd a creep.
They made him seem a little pedo style.
And
they
that's
didn't
not
say
cool.
that, but he gave a weird,
Like, every scene where he's talking to one of the kids,
specifically Ellie, the girl.
it's like, he says something, and it's like,
He says something
don't say
that's-
that to a little girl.
Well, or he'll say something that's not even like sexual in any way, but somehow it comes across as he's like a creepy old guy trying to like groom a child.
And the original was not like that
No,
at all.
that
The
was Herman
original
Munster.
Judd was awesome.
That was Herman Munster.
Yeah.
This was Trinity, or Harry and the Hendersons'
Harry.
father. No, Harry was the
Oh,
Harry and the Hendersons. Yes, he was Harry, you dumbass.
never mind. It's been a little while.
Or the dad from Third Rock from the Sun. Or
That's a really good one. Unlike.
like I like his acting, but the way
He
they
acted.
had him play creepy, I mean, he acted
acted
his
the
butt
hell
off.
out of it,
Yeah,
but-
absolutely. But unnecessary to make him that way.
Not at all. Not cool.
Kind of like when Charlie and the Chocolate Factory was redone as Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which is the name of the actual book, and they had Johnny Depp basically act like Michael Jackson. Come on in, kids. It's like, no, stop. Don't do that.
Like,
What
I
was
was
your-
okay with the undertones of
What
murder.
was your favorite part before we run out of time?
Oh, like your favorite part, because
Oh,
I
yeah.
just went.
There was a couple of scenes with the daughter when she started showing that she was evil. Not the first night when she's like, Dad, can you sleep with me? Because I'm scared. But like when she was dancing and all of a sudden she started like freaking out. I was
Smashing
like, okay,
stuff.
that's creepy.
Right, right.
So that came across good. Just it shouldn't have been her.
Right. So,
And adding that weird kids banging a drum wearing creepy masks from
did nothing for the story.
no, and the masks look like something from what was that movie?
Oh my goodness. You're next.
No,
Yes.
not the one I was thinking of. The one where the people were at the cabin and they were like about to get a divorce and
Right.
the strangers.
Oh.
Remember the masks they wore?
Oh, all right.
That's what it reminded me of. But
Okay.
but I can see what you're saying
Okay,
too.
because the animal masks.
Yeah.
Right.
But they both
Okay.
had weird
So
animal masks.
my favorite thing, bad choice after bad choice after bad choice led to kind of a cool ending, in my opinion. And spoiler alert, but I don't care because it was a bad movie and don't watch it. So I'll tell you what happens. After the daughter died and came back, the dad doesn't have the balls to kill her, and then mom dies, so she's brought back, and then they gang up on dad and kill him and bring
As
him
he
back.
was trying to go kill
As
the
he
daughter.
was eventually trying to kill the daughter, and they kill him, bring him back. Gage, the only one who should be dead, is the only one alive,
And he's locked himself in the car because the dad told him to.
and then
It ends
all
with him
three of
unlocking
them-
the door to let them in.
and they're all like evil and roaming the world.
Yeah.
So like,
There. We've ruined the only good parts. Don't bother wasting your time. We had to watch it in 2 parts. We still had 40-something minutes left, and it took us over a week to
Get through
decide
it.
to finish it because it was such a slog. Like, it was just, ugh.
it was dull.
Every time
From
I was
the
like, we
beginning.
got to finish that, he was like, I know. I'm
And then
like-
we wouldn't.
And then we'd watch like an episode of Archer or
Something good.
something entertaining.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate this movie?
I mean, I've seen worse because we reviewed Hatchet. So, I mean, or not, was it? No, not Hatchet.
Maniac.
Maniac, yes. Hatchet was good. Maniac.
Dummy, use your brain.
You knew the one I meant.
I did.
Maniac was what I meant. But, yeah, Hatchet was actually decent.
Right.
We haven't watched all the sequels, but
Got
the
it.
first one was good. I mean, I'm still going maybe 2. On a good day, I'll say 2.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with a 2.
Yeah.
Because last episode we showed what a good. It wasn't really a Chucky movie, but it was still a good movie. You can do a good movie.
They just shouldn't have called it Child's Play.
This
for that
time,
one. They shouldn't have
it
done
wasn't
it at
a
all.
good movie.
No.
There
And some
was-
of the special effects were worse than the ones from 1989. That is a horrible, horrible thing to say when it's 2020.
Well, It's a 18-wheeler, right? Plows over a 10-year-old girl, and when you see her body, she's all like intact.
Yeah.
What is that?
At least with Gage, they kept it like closed casket style in the original. Right. Yeah,
There's a reason for that.
The original was so much better. Like the Pascal character or whatever that died, I actually thought the special effects looked more realistic on the original.
But he also wasn't as bloody.
No, but they had
But
like
didn't
weird.
have to, yeah. All right,
it's-
so we gotta wrap this up.
Yeah. So
So on that side, you can watch this show on Fact TV Channel 8 Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. and Fridays at 7 p.m.
you can email us at gorystorytime@yahoo.com.
Oh, excuse me again. You can like us on Facebook.
You can go to fact8.com and find many episodes of this and other shows.
Sorry guys, channels have changed.
Channels have
Oh,
changed.
Yeah, remind them again.
Oh yeah,
Channel 1076.
Channel
1076, not 8. Don't listen to the first thing, but listen to the second thing.
Forgot all about that last time too.
Not your fault. Not
No.
your fault.
All right,
So it'll have to get
blame
updated
Colin,
there so
he
when we
didn't
read
write it in.
He only works here. How would he know?
All right. So
We also have Twitters. I'm at Craig Jakes, all lowercase, all one word.
I'm at Jason T. Jakes, capital J, capital T, capital J.
And that's about it. So when you said like us on Facebook, but that means you can like Gory Storytime and you can like Fact TV.
Yeah, and if you're watching this live, hey.
And that's about it.
Yeah.
So
Until next time, I'm your host Jason.
I'm his co-host and father Craig,
And sweet dreams.